The second setup I have for you guys is on GBPNZD. So as you guys can see, we've had a huge bullish reaction, obviously because of that fundamental news that I talked about earlier in my other video on GBPJPY, where the UK finally left the EU. So the pound really got strong, especially towards the ending of the last week. So we've actually had a closure inside this resistance zone right here, which you guys can see has been holding for a long time now and has had multiple rejections. So this was a pretty strong level of resistance, but last week we actually had a closure inside this zone. So I'm simply going to be waiting for a break or a break of the zone or a bounce. So a simple break or bounce scenario on the weekly time frame. But for right now, because of the immense bullish pressure right now, my bias is going to be towards the upside, and our next bullish target is going to be at 2.075. Now, the daily closure is what's going to tell us everything and is going to confirm our bias or not confirm our bias. If the daily closure can continue to push to the upside and have a closure above this zone, that would be enough to tell me that price is going to continue to push to the upside. Now, if price happens to have a rejection here and price happens to have a closure below, then that would be enough to tell me also that price is going to most likely come back down and retest our 1.99 key level here as well. So it's a simple break or bounce scenario on GBPNZD. For a potential buy opportunity, we would be looking for a potential gain of around 300 pips. So let me just drop down to the 4-hour time frame. Let me just draw this on again. For a potential move to the upside, we'd be looking for around 300 pips, and our stop loss would have to remain below these candlesticks right here. So we'd be looking for around 50 to a 45 pip stop loss. The risk reward on this is nice. We'd be risking around, for every dollar we're willing to risk, we're potentially going to make back $6.20, which is pretty good. A trade to the downside would look something like this, where we would have to have a push to the downside. We'd wait for the retest, and then we'd enter off of the retest, with our take profit being at the next support level at 450 pips, which is a huge amount, and our stop loss would just be around 48 to 50 pips as well. So we'd have to be very careful with our stop loss, as we would have to we can overextend this and make sure to use proper risk management. We can risk around 85 pips and we can make this into a swing trade. We'd be looking for a potential gain of 450 pips. So if this trade plays out, this would be a huge trade for us this week. And obviously we would have to, this stop loss is pretty big, so make sure you guys are using proper risk management. And once we see some profit, we can make it risk free, but for the time being we'd have to let the trade breathe a bit. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it on GBPNZD. A nice swing trade opportunity, waiting for the daily closure to confirm if we're going to break above or have a closure below this level of resistance.